So I guess the story kind of goes like this. I'm going to use an emoji to tell my story. So I have social anxiety and panic attacks, and I would normally try to control them, the best way that I could by like using techniques, just talking myself through things. Or leaving the situation, or just not going to a crowd, or just whatever my triggers were. I mean, I've had it, pretty much since I was little. But anyways, we'll just cut to the chase. Somewhere in February 2019, at the end of it, I was prescribed Klonopin for my panic attacks. I also have ADHD, but that's neither here nor there. I manage that too. And then I was working at BJ's, so I was as an event specialist, I was about a year and a half into that position. I loved it because it allowed me to contribute to the house, and it gave me a purpose, and I didn't feel like a failure anymore. It kind of helped me out of my depression, and even though it was only a couple times per week, it allowed me to save back money to help contribute to the family, which made me feel really good. So in the end of February also, around the same time as I was prescribed my Klonopin, I developed a cold, sinus infection, I guess. It didn't go away, and then I went to Myrtle Beach with family. I noticed my eardrum had ruptured. Because it started I didn't know it had ruptured, but it was leaking out liquid. And so I was like, I tried to wait it out, and that didn't work, and it was hurting as well. So then I went to the doctor, and they looked in my ear, they found something in my ear. They ended up giving me antibiotic ear drops, and then I had to wait like a month. Scared to death, didn't know it was a ruptured eardrum at that time exactly, before I could get seen by ear, nose, and throat doctor, which I don't have insurance, so that was kind of difficult. So I saw them. Well, I waited the month. In between that time, I was experiencing hard of hearing, deafness, ringing in my ears, tinnitus. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Dizziness, vertigo, spinning sensations. And this was just, being still, I was feeling all this. Nausea. It wasn't pleasant. I was actually devastated. I felt like my whole life had been taken away from me. I even switched the TV to show captions on the TV so I could read, because I couldn't hear that good out of my ear. So anyways, after about a month of waiting to get into the ear, nose, and throat doctor, they found something in my ear, which they removed. It was some type of calcified stone. They told me that my ruptured eardrum had healed. And I just needed to have allergy testing, and then, which would take a bunch of needles in my arms, and everyone knows I'm not a fan of needles. I have a phobia of needles. I really wasn't taking the Klonopin at that time, when I was first given it, but then I started joining these groups because I found out I had eustachian tube dysfunction as well. And I know I'm jumping around here, so just hang with me. And, suspected Meniere's disease. I'm not sure exactly, what it is that I have, but I have something, because I've regained my hearing, but my ears still click and pop, like when I'm drinking, and anyways, the ruptured eardrum cleared up. I'm still left with the vertigo, the nausea, the dizziness, the spinning sensation, which sucks. So when I was joining these groups, I read about that Klonopin also helps with the vertigo and the spinning sensation and the nausea and everything. So I was like, okay. So when I would have severe spells and I couldn't just lay down and control them because the room wouldn't quit spinning, I would take a Klonopin, and I would take it, but it would also help me to sleep. So I was using it for my anxiety, using it for sleep, using it for vertigo mainly. Well, I would take it only 2 to 3 times per week, if that. So I had plenty left over in the prescription jar of medicine. Well, I started noticing that my extremities, like my feet, were starting to burn really bad. And I couldn't figure out why that was going on. So I was also doing what the ear, nose, and throat doctor told me, which was to take Claritin to grab a hold of my allergies. And my hands started burning as well. It's a severe burning feeling. So I called the doctor all like upset, like, and researching, can Claritin do this? Is it the Claritin? You know, in my mind, I wasn't taking the Klonopin enough. I didn't think the Klonopin could cause me a problem. I mean, all I simply did was take the medicine, you know, even less than prescribed, because it was prescribed to me to take the Klonopin every day, once per day, and I was only taking it 2 to 3 times per week. So I never have suspected it. Well, anyways, so let's see where I'm at. Well, I decided that I guess I was going to come off the Claritin, and I was still burning. And so eventually, sometime in, I think it was June, I decided I was going to cold turkey everything, and I was going to find out what it was, because then I started to do research and just figured I'd eliminate all medicines to see what it could be. And if the burning stopped, then I knew it was the medicine. Well, for 7 days, 6 or 7 days, I went cold turkey. I lost 10 pounds during that time. My heart was racing. I was having panic attacks. And eventually I was throwing up, nausea, couldn't sleep, insomnia. I would try to go to sleep. I would be so tired, I could not sleep. So I would just lay in bed, frightened, with all kinds of adrenaline running through my body. And I kind of thought I was dying. I mean, I also had these lumps in my neck and splenomegaly, so I thought maybe that could be the issue. I mean, I was also losing weight. Like in a week, I lost like 10 pounds. I was scared to death, honestly. Not that I want to admit it, I was having suicidal thoughts. I was having extreme agitation. I don't know. I was just terrified. And my heart was racing, heart palpitations, and then it got to a point during them 6 days, I could deal with the nausea, the throwing up, the losing weight. I didn't like the heart palpitations, the high blood pressure, but I was dealing with all that. I got this symptom called air hunger. Air hunger is like I couldn't breathe. It was very scary. It wouldn't stop. So I don't know. I did that for a few nights with the air hunger, and then finally I was like, you know what? It's got to, since I've eliminated the Claritin and I've eliminated the Klonopin, and I'm having all these symptoms. I started researching it, come to find out I am suffering from, a cold turkey from a benzo, which you're not supposed to do because you can have seizures. It's very dangerous. You're supposed to taper the drug. So luckily for me, I still have plenty of medicine, of course, because I don't take it as prescribed, so I have enough to taper. You could go and tell your doctor, but then you risk being cut off of the medicine and put into cold turkey, which could kill you and cause seizures and stuff, and you don't want to do that. So anyways, long story short, I ended up reinstating my medicine. Then I had to do research on how to taper this medicine. I'm not an addict, because it's not like I crave the medicine. I have a physical dependence on the medicine because it has shut down the GABA receptors in my brain. GABA receptors is what keeps your body calm. It controls, a lot more than that, but that's just a simplified version. So once you come off of this medicine, you go into acute withdrawals, and then you can have protracted withdrawal syndrome, which can last for a couple of years. If someone would have told me before I started taking this medicine that this would happen, I would have never took the first pill. It's like, I was led to believe that it was prescribed by my doctor, it was safe, so I kind of followed the doctor's orders, and this is where it's landed me. So currently I am tapering the benzodiazepine of Klonopin. I started at 5 milligrams, or not 5 milligrams, but 0.5 milligrams. I have been cutting it in half and then quartering it. I am now down to half of that, which is very good. I'm proud of myself. 0.25. And I have to get like all the way down as low as I can get, and then I have to jump. And right now during my taper, I have good days and bad days. Every time I cut my medicine, a dose of my medicine, it takes about a good 7 days, 5 to 7 days, for the withdrawal symptoms to kick in, for me to feel it and start feeling sick. I start having bad thoughts, depressed thoughts. I start having like out of body sensations where I don't know, I feel like my whole life's been hijacked by this stuff, but I'm just trying to be a champ, and I'm just trying to be strong for Haley and for David and for myself, because I'm a fighter. If there was like an easy way out, like something that I could take that would ease all this and make it all go away, I would. But it's not like being addicted to, let's say, if you were addicted to heroin or, alcohol, okay, or some other drug. Benzodiazepine withdrawal is harder to come off of than heroin because of the symptoms and how long that it lasts. You don't just like get over it. You don't just take like some pill that'll like relieve your withdrawal symptoms. Only thing that's gonna heal you, truthfully, is time. It's like a brain injury, so to speak, that eventually will come back, but you have to like wait it out. Yeah, I just drank of water. My throat was scratchy, but I don't know. I feel like I'm in for the ride of my life. I have heard all the horror stories that there is, and it is really sad, the stuff that people go through, especially those that are cold turkeyed and who are not allowed to taper off their medication. It's inhumane, actually. I feel that benzodiazepines are even still being prescribed to this day, knowing how fierce the withdrawal symptoms are. There's over 150 symptoms that a person can experience when withdrawing from benzodiazepines. So I have good days and I have bad days. On my good days, I try to seize the day and take advantage of that, because I know what cold turkey feels like. I know what being constantly ill from the withdrawal feels like. And even though I'm tapering, there's no promise that it's going to be any easier this time. But the risk of seizures will be lessened, so that'll be one thing off of my mind. And I will know that I have withdrawn from the medication in a proper way. So yes, there's a difference between being addicted to something and just craving it and having to have it, you have no control. And then there's a physical dependence where your body physically needs the prescription drug, and you have to be tapered off of it. So right now, I'm kind of blind leading the blind. I'm leading myself through this. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying to survive, so, I feel like people will judge me. People will have an opinion. I don't really necessarily care about their opinion because I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what's best to claw my way back up and become stronger despite the situation that I am faced in. Or not faced in, but put in. I don't do live video like this very often, so it's not really live, but I don't do a video like this. I've been kind of putting it off, but I feel like I need to talk about it. So if you've never heard a warning before or you never known, let it be known that I am telling you now that benzodiazepines have caused people to take their lives from the withdrawal symptoms. It is a horrible drug. It is not something that you should take, that I feel like you should take at any time. Anxiety can be managed on its own, and panic attacks. You just got to figure out different coping methods to do so. I don't know, there's a little bit about my story. Yeah, it's a long video. I'm sorry for that. Hope that gave you a little bit of insight. And I guess I will end this video and say see y'all later, okay?
I can't take this feeling, hurts too much from me.
Okay, I lied. I'll end this video with my song.
I don't know why.
My new favorite song.
Something ain't right. If I never wake up, then maybe I'll be alright. I don't wanna cry. I'm trying to fight. I can't take this feeling, hurts too much from inside. I don't know why. Something ain't right. If I never wake up, then maybe I'll be alright. I don't wanna cry. I'm trying to fight. Lately I don't even really know myself. Push away anybody that would help. Try to be the person I was, but there ain't nothing left, I'm going through hell. Feel dead inside, I'm just going through the motions. So petrified of showing true emotions. I'll do anything to numb the pain. Watch out, cause when my own life's being stolen, it's like people see straight through me. Friends who once